I really wanted to talk more about Brian Kendrick. So how did we get to this point where Wheeler Yuta replaces Brian Kendrick? It's quite simple. Rewind it back. Just a few weeks ago, Brian Kendrick had requested his release from the WWE. And you guys got to keep in mind that when Brian Kendrick requested his release from the WWE, contrary to some of the comments you might have been seeing online where people were going, oh, well, he's not wrestling anyway, so what the hell? Ha 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 ha. Okay, yeah, true. But these people that were making these crude jokes just to look pretty cool, just to look popular and everything, what most of them failed to realize was that Brian Kendrick had actually been working behind the scenes as a trainer, at times a producer, but mainly a trainer, mainly a coach for a lot of those that were coming through the performance center and all that. Remember when Eva Marie, not this last run in the WWE, but when Eva Marie had her prior run in WWE, and she actually was pretty decent in the ring there. Well, a lot of that was owed largely in part to Brian Kendrick. Brian Kendrick had a huge hand in breaking her in, showing her the ropes and everything. So even though you might have not been seeing Brian Kendrick on a weekly basis on your TV, the man was still very busy behind the scenes. And as a matter of fact, I'm just thinking how long he was a coach there at the Performance Center. God, it feels like he's been doing it for maybe 2 years, give or take about 2 years. He wore all of those hats. And so I say that to mention this. Keep that in mind. He did the whole backstage producer, coach role and all that for about 2 years in the WWE. It basically went from about 2019, maybe 2020 till now. And he pretty much requested his release from the WWE right at about the time that you had a bunch of individuals that were saying, okay, yeah, it's about time to jump ship from the WWE because not really feeling what's going on here. There is a change in the wind, not really feeling this change in the wind. I'm not really sure what's going on. It really mirrors exactly what Nia Jax had said in her interview with Renee Young on her podcast from a few days ago. We'll talk about that much later, but yeah, just change is just in the air. And you saw the people that were associated with NXT. See how Scotty 2 Hotty not feeling the direction of the company. He's training one set of people. Then he's got to train a different set of people. Okay, this is too much for me. I'm out of here, right? I mean, just flip after flip, flip after flip after flip after flip. So Brian Kendrick, pretty much seeing everything that's going on, asked for his release as well. He asked for his release feels like about maybe 2 weeks ago, if that, and pretty much WWE went on ahead and granted him his release. And that's how we got to this point where he was supposed to be making his AEW Dynamite debut tonight, his AEW debut period. But wait, he gets pulled. How is it that this guy gets pulled? What the hell went wrong here? Well, you gotta rewind it back to 2011. Basically, between 2011 to 2013-ish, you gotta rewind it back. And leave it to some individuals that we were just here on Monday night, were we not? Or maybe it was Monday night. We were just here Monday night, and I was telling you guys how there are certain wrestling journalists, how there are certain reporters that have their own agenda. Heaven forbid they don't like you. Heaven forbid you are a wrestler that they do not like. They do not care for you. They don't care to see you on their TV. And heaven forbid if a situation occurred where if they tried to be friendly with you on social media, that said wrestler, that said wrestling journalist or whatever, heaven forbid that wrestler turns a blind eye towards you, not interested in doing any collaboration or whatever, you forever be on that shit list of that so-called wrestling journalist, and anything negative, anything remotely negative that you said wrestler are involved in, they will be on it. They will exploit it, all in the name of making sure that you really feel them. Shit on me, will you? Turn a blind eye towards me, will you? Ignore me, will you? Some of them, I told you this on Monday, some of them can be vindictive. Some of them can be vindictive. Keep that in the back of your mind. 2011 to 2013. We had this crap that went down with a series of conspiracy theories on top of anti-Semitic theories by Brian Kendrick. There was a video that was posted by somebody on Twitter. And look, you don't have to just do Twitter. I know some of you guys don't have Twitter. You don't have to just worry about Twitter. There's also stuff on YouTube where you can see this crap. Right? I shared something on freaking YouTube from YouTube. I shared something on Twitter, and it was just, whoa, what the hell? But take, for instance, from 2011, this clip of Brian Kendrick. This is about 1 minute and 16 seconds long. Listen to this. This gives you an idea as far as the anti-Semitic, the whole conspiracy stuff and all that. Just listen to this nice little soundbite here.
So basically the theory is the reptilians now, or their descendants, are the ones who are controlling the planet.
Sure, the 13 families, the 13 bloodlines that keep interbreeding, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, I know it was the Bushes who had a different name from before, I don't know, but Stuart Swerdlow has pretty good information, all that. Lots of it out there. But boy, oh boy, you and I both went to the same 11-hour lecture of David Icke, and he broke it down. It's all there. There's the connections between the Zionists, Illuminati, the destruction of the world, even with the Jewish medics already being flown to Haiti within minutes after the earthquake, prepared, ready to go. I'm not saying the medics were in on it, but I'm saying the Zionists who run things were there to scoop up the body parts. They were there to take eyeballs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, it is like that, yo. It is like that, yo. Would y'all like to hear a little bit more of Brian Kendrick there? Look, I just find this so fascinating that people, and look, if you never knew about this, hey, I give you a pass. Okay? But I knew about this shit for years. And my whole thing was, okay, well, if I knew this shit, and obviously I pretty much put 2 and 2 together and realized this guy's kind of way out there, but you know what? As long as we don't have that shit in the ring, we should be good to go. What he does on his own personal time, that's pretty much his business, right? Within reason. That's pretty much his reason. That's all him, right? That's his business, right? My, how the times are changing. I don't know, but I always knew about this. I put something out on Twitter. I had shared a YouTube link, and I basically was saying to people, wait a minute. Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody. And this is a clip that I have posted here. You can actually buy this from High Spots. There is a DVD. I was tempted to buy this DVD many years ago, pretty much when it first came out. I was very tempted to get it because sometimes I love to just kick back with some friends and we're having some drinks, maybe we getting our smoke on or whatever, and just crazy, stupid shit. Me personally, I think I would have had a nice hearty time laughing at all of this shit that was being put out there. When it starts to make sense to you, some of the stuff that you're hearing, that's when you got to get your head checked yourself. But you could actually buy this DVD from High Spots for those of you that are curious. But yeah, let me play this for you guys. Check this out. Oh, are you serious? Wow. High Spots removed the video from YouTube. I bullshit you not. High Spots removed the video from YouTube. The one time when you got all this traction that's coming in, and it's a case of, okay, we got a new audience. Okay, cool. Yeah, we can go on the hit. Oh man, we gotta get back to making this DVD again. What's going on here? It looks like they pulled it. Let me see if I can actually find it. And I did this earlier today. That's the crazy shit. Earlier today, I have found this freaking video here. And let me see here. Let's see what happens, right? We'll type in the Brian Kendrick theories and we'll see what comes up. Brian Kendrick theories. Because that's how I have found it initially here. You guys ever notice, by the way, that when you are putting something in the search box on YouTube, if you hit enter, you have to actually hit the magnifying joint. It's kind of crazy, ain't it? Yeah, I think that's kind of crazy. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see if anything pops up here. Doesn't look like anything is popping up. Something told me to fucking save that video before some crazy shit had happened. So shout out if anybody actually managed to download that video before High Spots decided to pull it. That is a first. That is a first from High Spots, I have to admit, because normally, let me try this. Let me try conspiracy theories. I'll try typing in conspiracy theories. And if that doesn't work, yeah. You know what? That's kind of fucked up that they pulled that video. That video was very what the fuck, because he had conspiracy theories in regards to Sandy Hook Elementary School, if I'm not mistaken. He said that Michael Jackson was still alive. There was a whole bunch of crazy, just over the top WTF shit. Right down to the point, if you try to type in Brian Kendrick conspiracy theories, nothing is coming up. There's absolutely nothing that is coming up now. And you actually used to be able to find some pretty interesting nuggets of crazy shit there. But yeah, so David Bixspan or Spickspan, we got a spick and span, he pretty much had featured the Brian Kendrick video from 2011, showcasing those conspiracy theories. Clip that we just played for you not that long ago, where that clip had involved Jewish families, the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and everything. And when you're listening to this stuff, it's just very, very. So for those of you that need to, wait a minute, what did we just hear? That clip, by the way, that video clip that I played for you, Brian Kendrick was basically suggesting that the 13 families, including the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, kept interbreeding. And that there is some type of a connection between Zionists and the Illuminati over the end of the world, and suggested that Jewish medics were flown to Haiti minutes before the 2010 earthquake, basically in order to quickly land on the grounds, get the body parts, but particularly take the eyeballs from out of the bodies. Okay? Kendrick also talked about how, you probably heard it clear as day in the clip, how he attended a lecture by David Icke, who's a noted British conspiracy theorist, and he has just spewed a whole bunch of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories over the years. So remember what I said from 2011 to 2013. All right, now you got to fast forward a little bit because a couple of years later in 2013, there was an article that was posted on a site called Culture Crossfire. It recapped Brian Kendrick's High Spots joint, The Kendrick Theory. Shout out if you guys can still find it. I wonder if at this point, as far as High Spots, I wonder if High Spots still even, you know what? I'm very curious, aren't you? Let's see if it's actually still on High Spots, because High Spots, for you shoot DVD lover collectors, High Spots has a notorious reputation for always promoting their shit on YouTube, and they always give you a nice little link where you can, buy their videos and all of that, right? They try to whet your appetite with trailers. They try to show you the best stuff, little teasers and all that. So let's see what happens when we type in Brian Kendrick, because I'm on the High Spots website right now, and there is no Brian Kendrick Conspiracy Theories DVD. All I'm seeing right now, you guys that maybe while you're watching the show and maybe you have a phone or something, if you guys want to check, go ahead, go to High Spots and see, or if it's available anywhere. Maybe our video has it. I don't know. But the only thing I'm seeing from High Spots right now is Brian Kendrick Presents King of Flight DVD, Paul London and Brian Kendrick autograph, and a video download of Brian Kendrick Presents King of Flight. I am not seeing anything else. So for all we know, they probably did not. I don't know. Maybe it's out of stock. Who knows? So yeah, that one that he did there in 2013 there, Skull and Bone Society, 911 conspiracies. He was supporting from the clip that I remember seeing, he was saying that the Sandy Hook Elementary shooting, yeah, I'm not gonna even repeat that because it was that disturbing. The Holocaust, he said that was overblown. I will give you that one. He said the Holocaust was overblown. So all of this crap, right? Now think about the timeline for a second during that 2011 to 13 period, right? So some of that stuff when it was going on, Brian Kendrick was actually working in TNA, and meanwhile, the Kendrick Theory, when that was filmed, he was working as an independent wrestler and he was doing some stuff for New Japan. Okay. So, mind blown. So now some of you guys may be saying, well, wait a minute, what was going on with Kendrick when he came back to the WWE in 2016? Because I know you all remember when he participated in the Cruiserweight Classics and all that. What was going on with him around that period of time? As far as I know, it does not look like he was doing anything, as far as spewing some of that stuff. But of course, just give it a day or so. I'm sure more stuff will surface if in fact he did do some stuff after he came back to the WWE. Now, I told you guys that Brian Kendrick had spoke out after AEW had pulled him and everything. Tony Khan had released a statement on social media just a couple of hours before, and as he had caught wind of everything that was going on there with Brian Kendrick. And this is what he had said here. Let's go back here. And I quote, "We've been made aware of abhorrent and offensive comments made in the past by Brian Kendrick. There's no room in AEW for the views expressed by Brian. We think it's best for all that Brian be pulled from tonight's card as we gather more info. We'll announce a replacement about ASAP." And as we all saw later on, that replacement would turn out to be Wheeler Yuta. Now, here is what Brian Kendrick had to say in regards to all the stuff that was said He posted this on his Twitter account. He posted this an hour after Dynamite was on the air tonight. And I quote, "I apologize for all the hurt and embarrassment I have caused with my words. These are not my beliefs and never were beliefs of mine. I crossed the line. I spread the most vile comments without thinking of the damage it would cause. I will live with this regret for the rest of my life. I am truly sorry for the pain I have caused." So that's pretty much where we are right now with all of this. Now, I don't know about you guys, but remember what I had said earlier that, wait a minute now. So we've had this stuff running around. Now, one question comes into mind. All these years that Brian Kendrick was back with the WWE, I can't help but bring up a very glaring question. And I'm sure you guys know exactly what that question is. Why weren't the David Spickspans? Why weren't the insert? Why weren't people, especially those that were pretty big into collecting DVD shoot interviews and things of that nature, why wasn't this a selling point on social media when Brian Kendrick came back to the WWE, particularly in 2016? I mean, goddamn, we've had social media. We've been pushing social media now for a good ass fucking minute. Last I checked, I've been on the air since 2011. Twitter was definitely around in 2011. So what I don't quite understand is from the time that Brian Kendrick was doing his thing in TNA to becoming a independent contractor, doing dates for New Japan and all of that, and then a few years afterwards, coming back to the WWE and being back with them off and on for a handful of years, right down to the point he worked as a producer, worked as a coach and everything, a trainer and all of that. Why didn't all of this surface? Can anybody answer that question? You got to admit, that seems pretty WTF to me. It seems very head scratching. It seems very odd. Does it not? Very, very odd. Yet, the minute that we find out that this guy was granted his WWE release and he has an opportunity to go on ahead and do a little something for AEW, nobody said he's all elite. Nobody said he was getting the AEW contract. He's just making a one-time appearance. And who knows, maybe he makes a good enough an impression on Tony Khan and crew, and the rest will be history. But for all intents and purposes, for all we know, he's doing one match, and that's basically it. And yet it's decided that, oh yeah, remember that shit from about, what was it, 12, 13 years ago? Let's dig that back up. Now, I'm not going to be here on this show and say, oh, he was just a kid. Brian Kendrick is 42. Yeah, so he's a year older than me. He's 42. So, if we were to rewind it back when he was making those comments that he was making, he would have been over, what, a 2-3 year period that he was saying that type of stuff. So he would have been somewhere between 30 to 32. Yes, somewhere between 30 to 32. Well, wait a minute. Because if he's 42 right now, then 2012, that would put him at 32. So yeah, so he would have been around, 31 to 33. So you can't say, well, he was just being a boy, young kid. Kids make mistakes. No, you can't say that whatsoever. I don't like this response that Brian Kendrick put out there. I think, honestly, 2 cents from a distance, I think he is more sorry over the fact that he had some words from previous years that came back to haunt him, that came back to bite him in the ass. And I think he's it's more so embarrassed than sorry about the words that he put out there. Okay. You're not going to go to some 10-hour lecture and read this, read that, do these interviews. You're not going to do all that type of stuff and then say, oh, no, that's not my beliefs. That's not my, no. So you're telling me all the times that one said person is going to all these Ku Klux Klan meetings and they're attending Ku Klux Klan barbecues, bar mitzvahs, and okay, you get the point that I'm making. And then like, oh no, I'm not racist. These aren't my beliefs. But you're preaching it. You're preaching it. So you are a messenger of, okay, so, which is, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. All right. This is a case right here where I'll be honest with you. I wish Brian Kendrick would have fucking owned the shit. I wish Brian Kendrick would have said, look, what I do on my personal time, contrary to how some of you all may feel. Now, I'm not defending the guy, so don't be coming at me with the hate messages. Just hear me out. You should have got in front of it and said, look, what I do on my own personal time, that is my business, as long as it does not affect what I do behind the scenes in professional wrestling or in front of the camera when I'm doing my thing as a pro wrestler. What I do on my personal time, that is my business. I can tell you from that particular period of time, I'll throw him an olive branch. Maybe his ideology has changed. Maybe it's changed. So maybe Brian Kendrick is now saying, look, we're talking about a different individual and a different mental headspace game that I was in over 12 years ago. I was very impressionable. I was very gullible. It's no excuse, but I'm just telling you what was going on with me during that time. I was seeking enlightenment, and unfortunately, some of the individuals that I had decided to put myself around, have an inner circle with, bad influence, to say the least. But I no longer share these ideologies to the point I despise anybody that actually, shares these beliefs, shares these, right? But I mean, no, we don't even get that. We just pretty much get, let's read his comments again. I mean, we're not hearing anything as far as self-accountability here for this, right? I apologize for the hurt and embarrassment I have caused with my words. These are not my beliefs and never were beliefs of mine, and I crossed the line. Okay, so basically, you're passing the buck right there, okay? Right? You're not really going in the direction that I just suggested, okay? I spread the most vile comments without thinking of the damage it would cause. I will live with this regret for the rest of my life. I am truly sorry for the pain I have caused. Brian Kendrick has always came off to me as a very smart man, high IQ. He's always came off to me as that. So this bullshit about spreading the most vile comments without thinking about the damage, no, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that whatsoever. Okay, that's a crock of fucking bullshit as far as I'm concerned. So what Brian Kendrick really needs to do right now, as far as I'm concerned, he really needs to dig down deep, look himself in the mirror, and, ask himself just what type of individual he is, what type of contributions to society is he really trying to, bestow, what's his contributions? What was he trying to really have it to become to society? Is he trying to do a world of good, do his respective parts, or spreading misinformation, conspiracy theories, race baiting, and all this other fucking bullshit as far as I'm concerned. Now, that's Brian Kendrick. Okay? Tony Khan, WWE, TNA, and anybody else, okay, as much as you, me, and everybody else may probably want to shit and just beat up verbally on Brian Kendrick, no, we need to be turning the compass on the individual enterprises that I just named and then some that pretty much turned a blind eye to what Brian Kendrick was spewing out there. There should have been fucking companies, whoever was in charge, coming to him, dude, the fuck is this shit I'm hearing about you saying Sandy Hook, people never actually died, that this was just and men didn't really go to the moon, that it was all bullshit, it was just filmed in a garage studio. What the fuck is going on with you? Are you okay? Right? Where was these people that really meant well to say, hey man, I don't really like the direction that you're going here. You're getting ready to dip into some serious troubled waters. You need to pump the brakes now before you really put yourself in a position where you're going to be drowning and we're not going to be able to bail you out. Everybody just turned a blind eye to this. Everybody did. And you're telling me in this day and age, this is the other thing that I don't understand. What was the name? Help me out, chat. What was the name of the girl that was at the Performance Center some years back, but she got denied because of some comments she made on social media? She was a big girl. This was before Nia Jax. White girl, big girl. I want to almost say Jessica Havoc. I'm almost certain it was Jessica Havoc. Man, look at how fast, and you could almost swear that somebody had that shit saved and it was on their desktop and it was just ready to go. All they had to do was just hit send and it was live on social media. Like they were just sitting on it. Man, as soon as she went to the Performance Center and word got out that she was part of a Performance Center crew and all that, oh man, they came right back with those words. And you see how quick WWE was like, nope, she's gone. All these companies that you can't tell me none of these companies knew. You can't. Tony Khan and them, come on, man. Seriously? After all the social media screw ups, the scrutiny that Tony Khan and AEW has been under, I'm actually quite disappointed that Tony Khan and AEW have put themselves in this position where they've got egg on their face. This needs to be a teachable lesson for Tony Khan and all necessary parties in AEW going forward. And you know what? This message isn't just for AEW. This is for other wrestling promotions out there as well. You've got to be very rigorous with your background checks. That's great that they didn't kill anybody. Okay, maybe they went to jail 20 something years ago, but it's a Booker T story. They've turned their life around for the better. Okay, great. Everybody's deserving of second chances, third chances. Okay, that's great. But what we're talking about specifically is, wait a minute, what's going on with stuff that they've said potentially informs? What's going on? Okay, they've got a social media presence. Okay, all right, what all are they doing? What all have they said? Blah this, blah that. They've got to be put under more scrutiny. Okay, because when it's all said and done, when you have shit like this that went down with Brian Kendrick, this is how it blows up in the face. Let me tell you something. I would not be surprised if Brian Kendrick had people in AEW, potentially including Tony Khan, that knew about this shit that he was putting out there. If you, I'm sorry, but if you are a fan of Brian Kendrick and you've been following him, I would say longer than 5 years, 8 out of 10, you probably knew about this shit that he was putting out there. You probably knew about these conspiracy little theory videos. You probably knew about his takes. You probably paid it no mind. You just said, okay, crazy motherfucker, whatever. But he's a really great wrestler. So you paid more attention to the latter than the other shit. Okay. But Tony Khan and them, they gotta stop this shit. Seriously. You can't keep just going every single time a wrestler is released or this person has now become available. You just can't keep going. I gotta catch them. Even if it's just for one show, or I gotta have them. You can't keep doing that. You've gotta fucking make sure that you are crossing all your X's and O's. You gotta do it like that. And right down to the point, these talents need to be held more accountable. It needs to be made crystal clear to them. Look, we're offering you a potential spot here to make an appearance on blah, blah, blah show. Do this, do that. Hey, we just got to know there's nothing on social media that could potentially come back. And, you are you sure? Because some surfaces, we got to let you go. Now, we got to do our thing. Are you really sure? We got a reputation to maintain. Right? So Tony Khan and them, they definitely got to be more careful. But man, I would not suspect if Tony Khan and them, they actually had already knew about this shit. And if they did not, I need to know who the fuck is in charge of their PR department, because this is just right. So that's AEW, Tony Khan's part. WWE and all those other motherfuckers, I'm eyeballing them as well. All of these motherfuckers that just basically turned a blind eye. They never did. And look, for all we know, I'll give them an out. For all we know, maybe some of them did go to Brian Kendrick a couple of years after this stuff was put out. Yo, fuck is wrong with you? And maybe it was, nah, man, it's not even like that. I'm not even in that position anymore. I've gone away from that since then. Trust me, I'm a totally different person now. I do believe people can change. I really do. But when I see lame ass bullshit posts like this from Brian Kendrick, I'm not really picking up the sincerity. I'm not truly picking up that he really can comprehend. You feel where I'm coming from? Let's see here. Dave agrees. He said, I'm not buying that apology either. So he didn't ever believe all that anti-Semitic bullshit. Yeah, okay. And I guess Hulk Hogan never said that racist bullshit either. Exactly. And it was havoc. Yeah, Lars. Oh my God. Lars and the stuff that he was saying about the gay community there. Man, did that come back to, this is what I'm saying, man. You never fucking know. You never fucking know.